Welcome to Rugby. I'm here on Free Sports, and it's a very special day because it's your birthday, Jonesy. 37.
Happy Yorkshire Day. 37 years young.
Yorkshire shirt on.
Got my Yorkshire shirt on. Got my Yorkshire belt on as well.
Yorkshire belt on as well.
Only fair that we've got a Lancastrian on the opposite side.
Two
of the sofa as well.
Lancastrians. Yes. Rhys Breers and Lee Breers. Legend and legend to be. Breersy, how's life, mate?
Life's good. Coaching. Warrington and busy, but coming into the busy part of the season and really enjoying it.
Lee, tell me about the incremental gains that Warrington have made all season. Started off well, they've got better and better, and it's really funny because they've gone a little bit under the radar as well this year, I think. I think a lot of talk's been about St Helens and whether Cass can carry on from last year. Warrington have been playing well and got better every single week, in my opinion. Where's it come from?
I think it comes down to the coach. You know, Steve Price comes in, he's changed quite a bit. And it was always going to be a gradual progression through the year because Steve took over, me and Andrew we had his assistants, and a lot of change in the playing group as well. So a lot of system change and you know, building trust with each other, building trust with the coaches, and we're steady progressing through the year and enjoying it at the moment. We finished 9th last year, didn't we? And we're now in 4th position. So steady away and just keep improving week by week. Could
it be your year this year?
It's always our year.
Rhys, how's your rugby league career? Because you signed at Warrington scholarship. Are you enjoying it? Is it a good scholarship to be in?
Yeah, it's good.
And who's your coach there? Because your dad used to coach you, but he doesn't coach you anymore.
Gary Chambers.
Gary Chambers?
Yeah.
What was your community club? Where did you grow up and play?
Thornwick Crusaders.
Wow. Representing.
You've got to do it, haven't you?
Yeah, you've got to represent them. But is it dad who's obviously achieved so much in the game? Is it hard to coach your son? Because you've coached him since he was 6.
Yeah, well, when I took over, I said take over at 6 years of age when I first started coaching. I said I'll never ever coach him. I want him to be his own person. Yeah. And it was one of those times where you take him down to training and the coach didn't turn up. Yeah. And they asked me to get involved, and you know, looking back, it's like it's the best thing I've ever done coaching. You know, in one way, but it's also the worst thing I've ever done. And from being 6 up until 14, it wasn't like we was father and son. Yeah. It was father and coach, which I regret because I get emotional, by the way. I wanted to be his dad and not his coach. Yeah. But I also had a commitment to other kids. Yeah. So I stopped at 14. We've got a great relationship now. We're actually best mates. We've always been best mates, but I'm not his coach anymore. Yeah. So that's taken away the pressure of, you know, am I doing it for Dad or am I doing it for Rhys? And he's now doing it for Rhys, and he'll find his way.
Jones, it's your birthday, but you've got a little present here. So It's got Rhino's wrapping. I don't know what's in it.
Love it.
It's not from me.
Boys, do we open it?
Yeah, it's your birthday.
Let's rip in, eh? It is if you're watching it on Wednesday, by the way.
I know what this is.
Oh, mate, can't be. If I was on a desert island, I always say I'd take these with me, but I can never tell you because you're not allowed.
Amazing.
You're not allowed product placement, but you can probably tell.
Yes.
Oh, JJBC!
Oh my God!
Do you know what's brilliant as well?
Oh my God!
Oh, that's awesome.
That's awesome.
Bit of blasphemy there from Simo, but that's outstanding. Mate, that's brilliant. Let's have a look. The note.
Because Sam Burgess got this. You're as big as Burgess now.
Did you be? Happy birthday. We heard you always wanted one of these, and as you love Yorkshire tea and you are born on Yorkshire Day, we thought we'd treat you. The Yorkshire of Harrogate since 1866.
Wow. Taylor's tea.
Yorkshire tea team. Wow. And the reason why I read that slowly is because it's been written in Arabic and I had to translate that. But that's outstanding. Do you know what's really funny as well? Because I gave up tea and coffee.
That's amazing.
In 2018. I hadn't had a cup of tea since New Year's Eve.
That is amazing.
Would you have one on your birthday now?
No, I've got to wait. I've got to go through it. I've got to finish it. But this will be the first cup of tea I have in 2019.
That's amazing.
Thanks, guys. Awesome.
Right, big news this week. Unfortunately, in a bit of difficulty, not making the top 4. Derek Beaumont releasing a statement saying he made his position clear at the start of the year. It's untenable now with missing out. What's your thoughts? Because you guys have benefited signing Bodine Thompson. Yeah,
firstly, you know, Bodine's come across from Lee in unfortunate circumstances, and we've benefited and worked this week with Bodine. He's a fantastic person, fantastic player. But It's sad. It's really sad, and I really feel sorry for, first, you know, Lee, the supporters and the players, but I also feel sorry for Derek Beaumont. Yeah. He's a likeable person. I know Derek quite well, and the money he's put into that club, and it's not worked out for some reason. It's just a shame, and I'm a true believer that rugby league can't afford to lose the likes of Derek Beaumont, Marwan Koukash. You can't.
Too much money there.
And you know, and he's done a marvellous job, and he's a breath of fresh air for me. He says his piece, which sometimes it upsets people, but so what? He puts his money in, and it's going to be interesting now to see where they end up.
Well, we're going to go over now to St Helens, the club where you started your career. You got your break because Bobby Goulding, was he injured or?
No, Bobby got suspended. Yeah, he got he got 8 matches for whacking Neil Cowie around the head, and I was academy player at the time, obviously, but I was also a massive Saints fan. Yeah. You know, supporting a team, not knowing that when Bobby Goulding got sent off, that was going to change my life forever.
How did it feel to make your debut at Saints?
Oh, it's the best feeling ever. You know, I'm a Saints lad. Yeah. St Helens ground then, Knowsley Road, was like my church. Yeah. I spent every minute of the day in there when it was open or closed.
Getting escorted back out.
Yeah, so I used to climb over the fence at night time, go kicking goals, playing in the stands, playing hide and seek, and I shouldn't really say on TV, but you know, breaking in the cafeterias and stuff and taking the coffee home to my mum. So, you know, yeah, so it's, you know, it was my life, St Helens, not just to play rugby for him. It was actually didn't pay to get him. We used to always climb over me and my dad. It was great stuff. Brilliant. So to make my debut for him was sensational.
Well, one man who's done it all at Saints is Paul Wellens. Let's go see him as we get his memory lane.
I'm Paul Wellens, and this is my memory lane. The 2004 Challenge Cup final between St Helens and Wigan at Cardiff Millennium Stadium.
And St Helens then to kick off. The Power Gen Challenge Cup 2004 underway. St Helens winners of this cup 8 times, their 18th final. Wigan a record 17 times.
Yeah, in 2003, it was a pretty poor season for St Helens. It was the first time in a good few years we hadn't won anything, and so we really went into that pre-season for 2004 very focused and determined to fix that. It was probably one of the toughest cup runs. I think our first game was away at Bradford, who were just the newly crowned World Club champions, and then we met Super League teams along the way. We had 2 games at Knowsley Road against Hull FC and Leeds Rhinos. And then we played Huddersfield Giants in the semi-final at Warrington to advance to the final against Wigan. So there was no easy games there, but I think, you know, that kind of built the competition for us. We knew that if we could keep chalking up the big victories, that potentially our name could be on the trophy. Unfortunately, I never got to play at the old Wembley, but I was probably the first cab off the rank, so to speak, in terms of taking the cup finals to different places. So went to Twickenham in 2001, Murrayfield in 2002, and then obviously got to go to Cardiff Millennium Stadium in 2004, and it was just an unbelievable atmosphere. I think it's been quite well documented amongst supporters how much of a, you know, probably convenient stadium it is, with the stadium being bang in the city centre. It makes for, you know, a real great atmosphere in and around the ground, and certainly when the bus is pulling up and you can see the fans lining the streets, you know, on the way in, it's a very special moment. Saints Wigan games and derby games are always high pressured anyway, but none more so than when you meet them in a big final. And there was a lot of pressure going into that day because they'd beaten us in the cup final in 2002 up at Murrayfield, so we did feel like we owed them one a little bit, and you know, we were very determined to kind of, you know, get them back, so to speak. Walking out the tunnel that day, the heat just hit you straight away. How warm it was pitch side. I think it was recorded something near 100 degrees pitch side on the day, so you know, it was very intense. For me, being a fullback, that was quite good because I knew there was going to be a lot of tired middlemen. Not in I'd be able to pick on them, but yeah, the heat, that was the first thing that struck me. But obviously then you've got the nervous tension and what you get with the Challenge Cup finals. You have obviously the Abide With Me, and Captain Jenkins was singing that, and you have a little bit of standing around and waiting. So it's how you deal with that kind of emotionally, and keeping your emotions in check so you can be able to perform as soon as that first whistle goes. The lineups on the day, both teams were extremely strong. Myself up against Chris Radlinski, you had Paul Sculthorpe up against Andy Farrell, Sean Long up against Adrian Lamb. If you're kind of 1, 6, 7 and 9, obviously Terry Newton and Kieran Cunningham have missed them two up against each other as well. You're 1, 6, 7, 9, 13, the span of your team, you need to perform well in big games, and thankfully on the day we did. I remember the game starting, and I remember just after a couple of minutes, Jason Hoop, he was always renowned, Australian fellow we'd signed, always renowned for putting on kick pressure and charging down kicks. And he managed to put a Chris Radlinski kick under a little bit of pressure, and Lee Gilmore scooped up the loose ball, I think, and ran 50 metres, or Willie Talal scooped up and gave it to Lee Gilmore, he ran 50 metres to score. So we got off to a great start, which is obviously vitally important in big games. Wigan don't lie down, so they got straight back into the game, and I think it was 6-all, and then we managed to get another try, and I remember just before half-time we kind of got a bit of luck from a kick really, and I managed to pick up a loose ball. We got another set of 6.
Oh, play on, that's back to 1, another 6 tackles. Unfortunate there for Wigan. 1 minute to half-time, St Helens were looking for another score.
A couple of plays later, the ball moved out to the left edge, and I just played the ball, and I managed to just get myself back into a decent position, and the ball came back through I think 3 or 4 pair of hands. I think it was Lee Gilmore, Paul Sculthorpe, and then Keith Mason provided the final pass for me to go over just at the side of the sticks, and it was the last play before half-time really, which a real crucial time to score.
Saints wanted another score. Hooper, good ball, back again, Sculthorpe. Oh, can he get over there, Wellens? Yes, he can! Oh, and St Helens has scored! And that's the try that Ian Milward wanted on the half-time hooter. Paul Wellens, lurking with intent under the post, picks up another 4-pointer. And that is a bad try for Wigan to concede.
We were 28-10 up, and Wigan scored again. Like I said, they weren't going to go away, and we knew they were going to keep playing hard. 28-16, and you've got that doubt in the back of your mind. You need to keep going, keep playing. And then we managed to go 32-16 up, and I remember it getting to about 74, 75 minutes on the clock, and we ended up getting a scrum, and Martin Gleeson walked over to me and said, "We've done it, we've done it." And I was like, "Yeah, you're right, we have." And we had a little smile at each other, and kind of knew we were in that moment, and we just needed to obviously see out the last few minutes of the game. But in big games like that, to get that kind of moment of relief where you can actually enjoy a 4 or 5 minute spell of the game and relax and soak up the atmosphere while still playing, it's very rare. So when you get the opportunity to do it, you enjoy it. It was awesome to lift the trophy at the end of the game. I think that was Scully's first year, Paul Sculthorpe's first year as captain as well, so he got to lift the trophy, and it's always a special moment. At the stadium though, you don't quite get to climb the steps like at Wembley, but I don't know if that makes it any less special. And probably what most people will tell you who've been fortunate enough to be in that position of winning a Challenge Cup final, it's all what goes on the field is unbelievable experience, but something like as simple as the bus trip back the day after can provide just equally as special memories. To spend 4 or 5 hours sat on a bus with a group of guys you've worked so hard with, just having a few beers and a laugh and a joke, and with some of the characters we had on that bus as well, like Sean Long and stuff like that, make it a very interesting bus journey home. But it was, it's great moments when you kind of celebrate those types of successes with your teammates as well. I'm Paul Wellens, and that was my memory lane of the 2004 Challenge Cup final.
What a player he was, Paul Wellens.
Yeah, awesome.
Is he the best you've seen fullback?
There's been a lot of good fullbacks. There's been a lot of good fullbacks. He was in, a real good group of them at the time. Radlinski was one of them as well. So, but Wellos is as safe as houses. I've known Paul since I've been 4 years of age. We live 100 metres away from each other. So we grew up all the way through, and even though he was a few years younger than me, you could always see that he had a bit of class about him. When he got into the first team at Saints, he was actually a halfback starting off. He made the fullback position his own.
The international game needs some work, needs some attention. You played a lot for Wales. You must have been proud to play for Wales in your heritage.
I loved it. I loved every single minute of it. The reason I did, because we were the underdogs every time, and it was like a club. It wasn't like an international team. It was like a club team. So when you met up, it was, you enjoyed it. You enjoyed playing. We didn't have the best of teams, but I'll tell you what, we had a dig for each other because we enjoyed playing with each other. I remember we played against England. 2001, we were playing England down in Wrexham. We had 16 players for an international. And we had to phone Keith Mason on the day, who was, I think, 17 or 18, not played first team. We were playing Andy Farrell, Terry Newton, the likes, they're all stars. I think we got beat by 12 points.
Wow.
That's a win for us.
Hughes played with Adam Hughes.
Adam Hughes, centre, played an unbelievable player, yeah.
Well, there's 9 Ukrainians this is a great story. So the Ukrainians, most Eastern Europeans just get Aussies to come over and play for World Cup qualifiers. Ukrainian people, proud people, we're not having no Aussies. If we're going to get to World Cup, we're doing it through Ukrainians. So what they did is, they sent a letter out to all NCL clubs saying, can we send our players over to learn and to develop? And one club answered the call, the best club in the world, Milford Marlins, and 9 of them are down at the Milford Internationals, playing with the boys this year, learning, getting better. Check this out. Inside the club where my love for rugby league first started to grow, back many moons ago now, the mighty Milford Marlins. And we're back here today because there's a very special story brewing at this little club down Kirkstall Road, and that is an international, not one, not two, is it 7 international players playing for the mighty Milford? Gav Brown, head coach, tell us a little bit about what's happening with Milford and the Ukraine.
It's actually eight Ukrainian international rugby league players have come to join us this year to gain some experience and hopefully qualify for the 2021 World Cup.
How did it all come about?
Basically, Arta, the president of the Ukrainian Rugby League, he had a conversation with Gary Etherington last year, who planted the seed and sort of said that, the domestic players need to experience a better level than what they're getting at home in the Ukraine. So Arta got in touch with the RFL and Dave Raybould, who in turn got in touch with the amateur clubs. At the start, when someone says there's 8 international players ready to come and play for you, it was all a little bit sort of surreal. But it has materialised. They're all here. They're all keen. They're built for rugby league, and it's just a matter of them getting the intricacies of the game and they're ironing out them little areas, and they'll be a real threat.
Arta, you're the president of Ukrainian Rugby League, and you must be. How has this journey been for you? Coming to England and coming and getting involved with the mighty Milford Marlins?
I spoke with David Raybould, from sports manager from RFL. So after that we find some clubs which was interested in our visit. But David Brown from Milford Marlins first write to me and ask if you would like come to our club, we will be happy. And we after that came to Milford. Many thanks for Gavin, because very hospitality club. All our lads playing because Milford Marlins has two teams.
Yeah.
One in National Conference League and second in Yorkshire Men's League. So we have every week good experience in English competition.
To make all this happen, you need support, and you've got a supporter called Vas, who's been really good with you guys. We're going to meet him a little bit later on during training. What was it? Without people like Vas, this would never have happened.
His building company is a sponsor of Ukrainian Federation Rugby League, and I spoke with him about this project last year, and he's really general sponsor of this project, and the general aim of his support is to help Ukrainian national team to participate in the World Cup 2021 in England.
When Arta came to you to speak to you about bringing the Ukrainian boys over to help them qualify for the World Cup, was it a difficult decision for you?
A little bit, yeah, but I know him long time and his father, so yeah, we just speak about, and I see the big opportunity for the boys as well, and growing our Ukrainian players as well. So a little bit difficult, but yeah, I'm ready for that.
And talk to me about how good they've actually been as well on the field. Do you think since they've been here they've developed? Because am I right in thinking that this email went to all the clubs, all the amateur clubs, and only Milford came back and said, "Yeah, we'll have them all."
I'm not sure which clubs responded, but I know that we were really keen to get them. So I made contact with Arta straight away and hit a bit of a relationship up, and he put trust in us and we put trust in them, and thankfully they came, and the skill level's pretty high. Obviously, there's a bit of a communication issue with the other lads. But from a skill set, Alex the standoff is a very skillful guy. He just can't communicate and tell the other lads what to do. But they're showing a lot of promise and a great deal of potential. And in terms of future development, the Ukraine should be a hotbed for future talent.
Will you be there in Hagov on the 8th of September?
Yeah.
Because we are thinking about going rugby.
So we go together.
We go together. We go together. What's it like? Tell us a bit about Hagov. Is it a good place? Will I enjoy it?
Yeah, I studied in Kharkov more like 6 years.
Yeah.
So yes, I very enjoy the city. It's a big city, and yeah, I hope everybody will enjoy Kharkov.
If the Ukraine gets to the 2021 World Cup, I think Vas will be an international superstar there. They might give you the keys to Kharkov City. Yeah. After one thing I did see, which was fascinating and unbelievable, you guys have been in a pop video in the Ukraine. Tell us how does this even come about? How do the boys get in a pop video?
We made this video in Kharkiv, in the Arsenal Stadium, and we have other videos about our seasons with pop and rock music. Maybe you saw this in YouTube.
I love it. I absolutely love it. Can you do us a quick winning song, a Ukrainian winning song? Give it.
Slava Ukraini!
He's going to teach me some.
Slava Ukraini!
Slava Ukraini!
Yeah.
Slava Ukraini! Absolutely brilliant to hear that from the Ukrainian boys. Arta's done a great job getting him over, Jonesy.
It's a good dream, innit?
It's a great dream.
It's great, and I hope they do really well. I love anybody that's evangelising the great game.
Jonesy, you were saying as the people, we've got Rihanna and James in the background. James is going to be on the sofa in the second half of the show. James from Red's True Barbecue. Big support of the show from the other days. He said last week on the show that Woody struggled with his hot wing challenge. You do it easy. You'll have a bit of that.
I'm not sure I said it like that. So
just like that. It was crystal clear in mind. So they've come today for your birthday to give you hot wings, and they've been walking in with like nuclear boxes.
Like weapons grade uranium box. It was,
Are you nervous now?
I am a little bit nervous. I am a little bit nervous because he's, James, he knows how to make his sauce and he's good at it. So, and I've had them before and they've been hot, and this is apparently 50% Osser. And I'm worried that it don't damage me for the weekend, if I was to play, that is. But I am a bit nervous, but I'm hungry as well, so I do like, if I like it when my nose is running and I sweat, But as I've got older, I've stopped eating as much spicy food.
Well, we'll find out in part 2.
We'll find.
Coming up right here on Free Sports in part 2, birthday boy JJB does a Reds Hot Wing Challenge, and James Douglas joins Lee Breers on the sofa. We'll see you for more. Cheers, Therese.